Ah, nice, big day at work. I finally get to relax and watch my tapes. And I even ordered this pizza here. Pretty excited. Time to grub out. Here we go. Dude, that's good pizza. Oh my god. Uh, what is that? How did you do that?
Well, it's actually pretty easy. I can show you, but you're gonna have to come to the Side Projects Clubhouse. Yeah, you're
What are
coming
you
with me,
doing in my
buddy.
house?
So now that we're in the Side Projects Clubhouse, I can show you how to make a proper look at system.
Oh, oh, it hurts, dude.
Hey,
Oh, it's just
hey,
yeah.
quiet down, man.
Okay,
I'm trying to,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
So I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make the proper look at system. So before we start making the system, I want to talk about casts. There's sphere cast and there's array cast. Sphere cast basically just shoots a virtual circle from a certain position and direction, and depending on what the radius and distance that you have it set to, will determine if you hit something or not. The raycast basically does the same thing, but it doesn't have the radius configuration. The radius configuration basically means how wide this beam is. Kind of think about it like a normal sphere. If you have a sphere and you stretch out the radius of it, you're basically stretching out how far that beam would be. And depending on what you set your distance to, will depend on how far that distance is set of the sphere. Now the raycast is basically the same thing. Just kind of think of it like a little beam or a cylinder. And since it's not a sphere, it can't basically stretch out like one. So you're only configuring the distance of how long that beam can reach out. Now I would preferably use the sphere cast because you have the configuration of the radius, which just lets you have a little bit more freedom of your system. So now that we have an understanding of what sphere cast and raycast are, we can actually get started on the system. As you see, we have this handsome gentleman here as our test subject. So basically what we're doing is that we're getting the head position of where I'm looking at, and then we're also getting the holotar projector of this handsome man right here, and we're combining both of those and getting the distance of it. If the distance between my head position and the holotar is less than or equal to 1, then that means that I'm looking at the holotar. So you may be wondering, how do we actually configure this to an event? That's where you start using bool variables. Now with the bool variables, we're actually able to store the information whether I'm looking at something or not. And in order to constantly update it, we're going to need an event receiver, and we're going to configure it to update 30 Hz. So now that you have an event receiver update 30 Hz, you're going to plug that into the input of the bool variable. So that way this is going to be constantly checking whether I'm looking away or not from the holotar projector. So I'm staring at it right now, and if I turn my head to the right, I'm sorry that the circuits are disappearing, but you'll see that it outputs is false. So we're just going to push these circuits aside for a second since everything is already set up. And we're going to spawn in an event receiver. Once you have that spawned in, you're going to configure it. And then on your MakerPen tab, you're going to just press event. You'll scroll down. Mine says bool variable changed. Although if you change the name of the bool variable, it could be something else. So I basically took the components of that system and I just hooked it up to a text, which just tells you if you're looking at the holotar or not. The event receiver will update and send a signal to the text if the bool variable ever changes from true to false or from false to true. If value just basically gives you a certain output, whether something is true or false. So if the bool variable is true, then the text for output is looking at, and if I'm not looking at it and it's false, it would say is not looking at. We can see this in play. So if I'm looking at the holotar right now, the text is outputting is looking at, but if I turn my head away, it says is not looking at. There's really a multitude of things that you can make with this sort of system. This is just something simple that I made in order to show you an example of what you can do with this. So since I don't want to overcomplicate this tutorial, I'm going to end it right here. If you want to see more videos like this, you can subscribe to our channel to stay updated. I'm Dark from Side Projects, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.